Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mellie's Yarn and Book Adventures. My name is Mellie, and this is my channel, my little space on the interwebs, where I speak about anything that is yarn, knitting, crochet, fiber related, crafty related, I should say, and also book related. What I'm reading, what I have read, what I'm going to read, any recommendations I may have. So I hope you sit back and relax. Today is Tuesday, August 29th. It's about 9:30 in the morning. But first, let's get some admin out the way. I have been gone for quite some time. There are some reasons for this. There are many reasons for this. But I'm going to give you the summarized version, so to speak. First, let me apologize for the quality of my camera. I am using a laptop and it is not that great. But I have to use what I have. I have to work with what I have. My laptop, my iPad that I used to use, my son smashed the screen. And even though it's only about 3 years old, the cost of fixing the screen, I couldn't justify fixing the screen right now because it would cost just as much to get a new one, because I have, unfortunately, my insurance ran out. Anyway, I've been gone for quite a while. Let me explain. I am a mom. I have children. Children do not go to school 365 days a year. So we've had, when I get busy with school stuff, and then summer comes around and I just don't have the time. The other reason why I've been gone was I wasn't feeling making a video. I wasn't feeling it. And every time I make a video saying I'm back, something happens and I disappear. So I'm going to say this. I am back for whenever I feel that I can post a video about an update or just about life. I'm going to try at least once a month. Most likely what I'm going to do is it'll be at the end of the month, so once a month. That I can do. But the other reason why I was gone is I don't even remember in my last video if it had even happened yet. But basically, I lost my job in December of 2022. And then we were trying to sell a house, which did not happen. As you can see, I'm still in the same, with the bed behind me, with the wall, same room. It was just a very stressful time, so that was just ridiculous. We did have a buyer. Turned out buyer pulled out after they had already put a down payment and everything, which I could have forced the sale of the house. But that takes time and money, which I didn't have because I needed the money from the sale of my house to put for the house that we were going to put an offer in. Like, we literally were about to put an offer in, and our realtor came with us. Like, me and my husband had made that decision, and we were going to speak with our realtor that day, and she came to us first, and she's like, we have a problem. And she did say, you can force the sale of the house, and I was like, yeah, but what if we don't get the house we want? Then where does that leave us? And plus, it takes time and money, again, to force that sale, which I just didn't have. I just was like, I can't do this. And on top of that, I went back to school for medical office administration. So I guess it's listed as medical secretary, but it's medical office administration, which is just the front desk or the back office, it's the clerical part of it. And I'm almost done. I will be done my classes as of the first week of November, and then I have to do an externship. and hopefully wherever I go, they hire me. So I think in the long run, it had worked out that we didn't sell the house because right now it's only one income in the house. So I think somebody, maybe I had somebody in the spirit world, maybe my mom, maybe my dad, maybe both, looking out and was like, no, this is not a good time. I mean, and we looked and we visited houses, and it was just a lot, and it was very stressful. And I wasn't really knitting. I wasn't really crocheting. I wasn't really doing that. I just, by the end of the day, I just was like, okay, I'm done. I want to go to bed. But, I've picked it back up. I have a few works in progresses to show you, a few whips. I do have a finished object, but it's downstairs, so I'm not going to grab it. But I will tell you what it is. I do have an acquisition, but it's not yarn related, it's book related. So let's just get on to the, works in progresses. So my first work, well, I do have acquisitions. I'm not going to lie. I do have acquisitions to show you. So actually, because they're actually on my works in progresses, so I can show you my acquisitions and my work in progress at the same time. Okay, so my first acquisitions are, where is it? Not there. Is it here? Not there. Okay. Well, hold on. I'm missing like a whole whip. That's why. Where are you? Where are you? Not there. You're here. Okay. Sorry. All right. So my first whip that I'm working on are obviously everything I'm working on is socks. So it's these socks. These are made using Jamieson and Smith. I don't think you can see that. It's kind of blown out. It's horrible lighting. But it's Jamieson and Smith Shetland wool. This is the 2-ply jumper weight yarn. And this is FC 51 mix. So I have this color. And I have 202 stone, which is this color. And then I'm using this, which I got in a thrift store, in the Goodwill. It was a bag of, there was some really good sock yarn, and then there was sock yarn that was just no labels. I believe because I actually do have another one of these that did have a label, and it was Knit Picks. But these didn't have any labels, but they all look the same as the one with the label, just different colors. So I'm assuming it's Knit Picks yarn. Now, now I started a pattern, which you really can't see. You kind of see it here. And then I was like, I don't know. And then I tried again with this pattern. I guess you can see it now. And I was like, I don't know. So then I decided on the second sock, I'm going to just do a plain stockinette stitch. So I'm going to have mismatched socks, but I don't care. Now the acquisition part of the project is the needles. Yes, they are. I'm actually missing one. It's over there. It fell out, but I'll pick it up later. They are a size 2, which I noticed. I wasn't quite sure. Stocking count, they're a little bit fitted, but I'm going to wear them in the house. These needles I've got, they look like, they are the three, these are size 2. They're nice and pointy. They do look like the more expensive needles that you can buy. Um, the let me see if I can show you. The cord is actually just that silver clear plastic with the cord, which I don't think you could see because it looks silk, but it's like silver. Um, and I bought these off Temu. Now I do have the expensive ones, Addy, and I do have a pair of Hayas, like in these. But I saw these. I was on Temu because everybody's talking about Temu, and I bought these a while ago, and I was just browsing the app. I downloaded the app. I was browsing the app. I was like, oh, okay, and I saw these, and I was like, all right, let me get the smallest size. I don't, I already have 2.5s. They don't come 2.25s, but I have 2.5s. Let me get a 2. Well, these are just as good as the expensive ones. And I'm telling you from having the expensive ones. They do the same exact thing. You could see that they're pretty long. I don't know if they're about the same size, but they're pretty long. And they work great. Like, the bigger the size, they do the tips not as pointy. These points remind me of a haya, but they're thinner, so they're going to be pointier. But they work just as great, and I think I paid like $2.50 for them. And we know that haya, I mean, I found knockoff companies that they all make, it's kind of like the supermarket brands. It's the name brand making it for the supermarket. Well, these are I don't know what brand they were, but that's those. The other thing I got from Temu was this yarn. It's supposed to be like an alpaca blend. It's like a hold on. Sorry, I had to pause for a second because my phone rang. So I had gotten this. It didn't have a label or anything. It looks like this when you get it. I originally first bought this one, but I'm going to show you this one since I'm not using it. It's like a chain. I don't know if you can see that. It's very fluffy, and it's like a chain. And so I decided to make socks out of it. So I have a pair of fluffy socks. Fluffy socks. And actually, these are really soft. Like, it's really soft yarn. So I don't know if it's an acrylic blend with alpaca. I'm not sure. But they're extremely soft, and I am using them as bed socks. And I'm using the same. I got them from Temu in a 2.5. These are the same in a 2.5 because I was like, well, okay, if the 2 is good, let me try the 2.5. And as you can see, the tips are not as pointy on those ones, but they work just as great, and I really like them. Okay, my next work in progress is, now I have a backstory for these. My husband came to me and was like, every Christmas I knit him a pair of socks. And I knit him wool socks. And he came to me, I don't know, at the end of July, and was like, I need you to knit me more socks. My husband, I was like, what? Oh, shit, okay. So, I was like, why? He was like, all the socks I buy, they're, tight. He buys the same socks, but I don't know if, he buys the same brand, but I don't know if maybe, because it's machine made, some might run a little bit smaller, who knows. His literally, the socks he bought, they were cutting, leaving marks on his legs, on his calves, on his ankles, on his feet. And his feet were swollen up. Well, he is diabetic, type 2, but he was like, whatever. And he actually went upstairs. When he saw this, he went upstairs and got a pair of he has 2 pairs. A pair, and he's like, they feel great on me, whatever. Can you make me more socks? So, of course, I jumped on that because he finally appreciated the socks. So they're downstairs, but I made him a pair of socks from this. And this is, I got this in the thrift store too. And these are, I can't think of the yarn. They are, let me look right quick. I know Regia. They are Regia. These are Regia 4-ply. And I can actually tell you what they are because I don't have the thing no more. They're Regia 4-ply. And they are in the red, gray, and teal. Yeah, these are the Regia 4-ply. And the red, gray, and teal. So that's what that is. So I made him a pair of socks with that. Which he hasn't worn yet. But they came out really nice. They fit him really well. Now I know his measurements. Lengthwise. So I can do that. So then they're sitting waiting to be worn. He said they're special, so he wants to wait until it gets a little bit colder out to wear them. Because I specifically asked him, like, what do you want longer? Do you want ankle socks? Somewhere in the middle? And he was like, maybe somewhere in the middle. Because the socks you buy in the store, machine made socks, they're like taller. So they go like up to about his bottom of his calf. So like above his ankle, they're, I don't know, I guess you would call them tube socks. They're the tall ones. He said somewhere in the middle. So the first pair I made were kind of like a test for where they're going to sit on his leg and things like that. And he liked that length. So I am making him another pair. And this yarn is, oh my God, where's mine? This yarn is, Rowan Felted Tweed. The green, this white yarn, again was one of those ones that I found in no, it's knit. I'm pretty sure it's Knit Picks. It was in that bag, and it was literally like a whole. It was literally a brand new ball. I can't. It's like blowing out, and I can't really change the settings. But without the label. So there's that. So yeah, the green and the blue, or gray, it's like a gray blue. It's like it's not charcoal. I don't know what color it is the Rowan Felted Tweed. The needles are from Lidl. Lidl and Aldi, the Lidl. Anyway, I saw these like during back to school. They have, and during this time they have a lot of sewing notions and crafting notions. And I had saw these, and they're a 3mm. That's the only size they had. And these are the only size I've ever seen, even in Aldi when they used to do the middle aisle. So I grabbed these a while back, and I never used them, and I figured, let me try them. They're bamboo. They're comfortable, and they're a little bit longer than I'm used to with double pointed needles, but hey ho. So I'm doing two at a time, but not two at a time. Concurrently. Concurrently, is that the word? Yes. So I'm now on the blue part for the second sock. And the reason why I'm doing them this way is because when I made his first pair of socks, he was like, "Oh my God, you're taking forever." And now he's like, "Oh, I'm going to wear it in the winter." So I said, "Dude, you have big feet." Like, he has big feet. Like, what would you like me to do? So I'm working on that today. And I'm using, again, these are a 3mm. Maybe you could see it better. Of the double pointed needles, the set of 3 from Temu. And I, again, like them. I really do. Like, they're just, to me. And I'm not sponsoring Temu. I am in no way paid or sponsored by them. You hear the stories of, "Oh, I bought this, it was junk." I think with sites like Temu and Shein, because my daughter loves buying clothes from Shein, but she's like skinny, but she's also tall. I've gotten 2 dresses from Shein. I've gotten really beautiful pajamas from Shein. They fit perfectly. I got 2 dresses from Shein, both the same size, different styles. One was like a summery, like cottage core type dress, and one was a vintage style, like 50s dress that I wanted to wear for my daughter for her graduation. The vintage style dress fit me well. It was a little bit snug, but it was fine. But the other dress, the summery dress, the zipper just did it. It was just too tight in this area. So again, my take on it with Shein, Temu, Wish is it's hit or miss. You have to how I purchase. I don't purchase through my bank. I use PayPal. I use a third party so that way I know I have that insurance that if something happens, and plus I've never had a problem with that where if something just wasn't right, if it came damaged, if it wasn't what I wanted, they refund me my money. And either they refund me my money or they give me a credit. And most of the time I'll take a credit because I know there's going to be something else I want from there. So, I'll just take the credit. Anyway, original point. It's hit or miss. I've not had a problem with these. They're very well made. You can see. I have another. You'll see in a minute. But I don't have a problem with these needles. Like, maybe the wooden ones I've bought crochet hooks off of Wish. No problem. Love them. The really fancy ones with the squirrely squirrel handle. No problem. Do I use them all the time? No. They took some getting used to because of the shape. But they worked. On to my next project. Now, as you can see in past videos, I normally work on DPNs or my 9-inch circs. I have always wanted to learn magic loop. When I first started knitting socks many years ago, and I think this is what put me off, I started with magic loop, and I tried DPNs. I was like, oh, it's too fiddly. Let me try magic loop. Magic loop, it just wasn't. It didn't feel right. But I think the point of that was I didn't have the right yarn. I got it from Wish. It was cotton yarn. And I had Knit Picks. Extremely long circular needle, which I think it was too long, and that was my problem too. So I saw on Temu these circulars, and they're from Lotus. Well, first let me show you my project. I had some leftover yarn from a sock project. I bought this yarn in Ocean City, Maryland. I don't remember the name. I don't have the label. Um, it was an okay yarn. It was a little bit splitty, but that's okay. Um, and then I just used a toe for a different color because I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough yarn, but now I see I am. But I saw these needles on Temu. Circular needles with a color cord. This one's like a baby blue or aqua, teal, whatever. And I was like, I know how to knit in Magic Loop. I just don't because I always felt it was, actually I'm not going to do that because I have to count my rows. Oh no, I don't. I'm on the thing. I always felt it was a little bit fiddly. But as you can see, this is Lotus Yarn Himalaya, I think. It's Lotus Yarns and the needles called Himalaya. They do sell yarn. I've seen their yarn. I found their yarn on like Amazon and stuff. And I have seen these needles on Amazon. And they're super, super expensive. And I was like, all right, I wanna try to see if maybe this cord is long enough because this is 80 centimeters, I believe. I believe it's 80 centimeters. So this was my test knit sock, and as you can see, I don't really have ladders. Hold on. And again, I think that was just used creator error the first time. I mean, you do have that seam kind of that goes down, but you get that with double pointed needles too. It's where the needles, where you switch needles. But besides that, these fit really, really well. This one. And so I was like, okay, now I can knit with Magic Loop. I know how to do it. Like, that's great. Or I knew how to do it. I just wasn't comfortable doing it because I think my first experience kind of put me off. But these needles were perfect. And I'm going to show you something really cool in a second with these needles because I'm really was surprised by it because all the other needles I bought, they did not have it. Which was the size. These make me think of Haya. Again, I have a Haya 9-inch Circs, and I have a Haya I think they're Haya the 3 set double pointed needles. But you're not gonna see it, but it says Lotus Yarns 2.50 millimeters right there. The join is smooth. There's no yes, it tapers, but there's no, where the cable joins, there's no snag. I don't get a snag. I think that was my other issue. I was getting a snag. As you can see, my stitches are a little bit tight, but as you can see, I did not have a problem pushing that. You can see the cord is a decent length, and it works for me. I actually went and bought, I'm working on a sweater, which I did not bring, but because I like them so much, I was using my Knit Pro Zings for my sweater. I went and bought size 4 and 4.5 millimeters of these needles, which they come into the cords are different colors, to switch over because I really like it. The point, it's pointy, not too pointy. Like, I'm not, it's pointy. It's not dull. And I really am enjoying those needles. So, my recommendation to you is, if you don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money, you're on a budget, go to Temu and look up these needles. I think I paid $4.50 for that circular for my Magic Loop, and I think I paid 2 something for these, for the 3 set of 3. So if you're on a budget and you really want to try out this method of knitting, and you don't want to buy cheap needles, like they're cheap, but they're actually not cheaply made, is what I'm saying. You're not going to spend $20 on a set of needles that you may not like the method of knitting. Go and try them out. You may enjoy them. Again, Shein, Temu, and Wish, it's hit or miss. But I'm telling you, my experience with the needles, I have not had a problem. I think they're just as good as all my expensive needles that I do have. Because I do have expensive needles. I do have a set of Chalgo. I do have a set of the 9-inch shirks for the Knit Pro Mindful. I have the double pointed needles and the 9-inch shirks of them. Why I have both, I don't know. I get in the mood. I have Knit Pro. Is it Knit Pro? I think it's. I have the zings. I have the Knit Pro zings, double pointed needles. Like, I do have many needles. Do I need them all? No. But I'm like, oh, let me try them out. And then I decide I like them, so I might buy the set. I do have a set of higher double pointed needles. Do I like them? Yes. I do have a set of drops. I think they're called, not basics. They're hold on, let me look right quick. Classic double pointed needles. I do have them. Do I like them? Not so much. Why? They're a little bit slippery. Like, they're slippery. I don't know why, but they're slippery to me. I do have Licca wooden needles. Do I like them? They're okay. I'm afraid I'm going to break them, and for what I paid for them, I'm like, ugh. I do have a set of Prim double pointed needles. Actually, I have 2 sizes. Do I like them? Yes. But they're a little bit too long for me. Will I try out other ones? Yes, I will. I will keep trying out needles. Will I keep buying whole sets? No. Because right now I'm on a budget, obviously. I like what I have to use for my socks, and I interchangeably use them. Because I have, like, oh, I feel like knitting with this set type today. Or, oh, I feel like knitting with this type today. And that's how I knit. And obviously you can see I have multiple works in progress. So, I have many. And it was because I was like, let me try this needle. Let me try this needle. I'm going to try this needle. And so it just evolved. And I'm going to, obviously I'm in the middle of all the projects. They're half or more than halfway done. So I'm working on that. Now, so that's my works in progress. I have one finished object, which is just a pair of socks for my husband. I'm not going to show you. That was my acquisitions for my needles. That was the only acquisitions. On to books. What have I been reading? Well, I have a Kindle Paperwhite from many years ago. It's white. It's the white face. And I've noticed, I also have a Kindle. It's not mine, but during the pandemic, I bought my daughter a Kindle, just a plain Kindle e-reader, not a Fire tablet. And she likes it, but she wasn't using it as much. So I was using hers because it was smaller than my Paperwhite. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. But then I decided, I told her, she's starting high school. She's in high school now. She's in 9th grade. You have to start reading more. This is why, even if you don't want to buy, you have physical books. I have Kindle Unlimited for now. I have a library card. I will let you borrow books from my library card. She has one, but she doesn't have a way to access the Libby account. She doesn't have a electronic. She could do that. So I was like, start using your Kindle. But then I noticed that my Kindle, my Paperwhite, is getting slow, like page turning, downloading. The battery's not holding well. So I treated myself over the summer, and I bought the newest edition of the Paperwhite. I wanted the green one, the sage green one, but I wasn't using I had cash, and I was like, all right, I gotta go to a physical store, and I couldn't find anybody that had it. So I went to Target, and I was like, all right, whatever. So this is the 16 gigabyte, because that's all they had. Black. I did have a case that closes, but I kept seeing on YouTube. I also ordered this case from Temu, the clear case. I ordered both the cases from Temu. Not a problem. Never didn't have I don't have a problem with it. I just printed out a photo of a cottage, like a misty cottage, rose garden, cut it to size, stuck it in the back. And then I had a random pop socket that I found in, I forgot where. It was one of those I'm at the register buys. And, there's a display of them. That one's cute. Let me grab it type thing. So, I've been reading on my Kindle for the past 2 months instead of physical books. I do have physical books. This past June, I believe it was June. Let me look on my Goodreads. This past June, I did a challenge for myself I was doing a Agatha Christie challenge, and I read, not June, February, March, April, May. For May, eighth. I started with The Pale Horse because I had that as a physical copy, and then I read the Sophie Hannah. But anyway, I created a challenge for myself. So then, I purchased a couple books. I read a couple books on my Kindle, but not this new one. Maybe it was this new one. And I got to what did I read? Okay. I read from June. No. January, March, April, May. From May, the end of May, I started. But it wasn't like a challenge. And then in June, I started my challenge. And I read The Man in a Brown Suit, The Big Four, A Caribbean Mystery, The ABC Murders, A Mystery of the Blue Train, and I think that's it. Yes, that's it. That's what I read. I feel like I read more, but I don't think so. I was trying to go in order for the Hercule Poirot, but I read what I had. Because they're not and I enjoyed it. I really did. I'm going to continue reading the Agatha Christie, but but not as a challenge. I mean, I completed the challenge. I read, how many books can I read in the month of June? And then in July and August, I was reading on my Kindle. And I read some really, really, really great books. I read, off my Kindle, I read, Frida McFadden. I found a new author, Frida McFadden. The first book of hers that I read was, where are you? The Housemaid, and then The Housemaid Secrets. That was the first books I read on this Kindle, I believe. No, the first book I read on this Kindle was The English Garden Murder. And then I read the Frida McFadden. And then, yeah. And then I've read The Vampire Knitting Club. And The Grace Year, Belladonna. I've been getting a lot of books from my library, which is great because my husband's like, you're not buying books. No, I'm not buying books. I haven't bought books except for the Agatha Christie books. If I buy books, it'll be for like my kids. I did get some classics in the used bookstore in Jersey, in a it's Berlin Farmers Market, which is like not really a farmer's market. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm really enjoying my Kindle. Right now I'm reading Lauren Asher, the Dreamland Billionaire series. I'm on book 2 because I was seeing, like, I was looking up like Kindle Unlimited reads on YouTube, and this series popped up a few times. Now, you know I'm not a romance reader. I will read a romance, or it'll be like a mystery romance or something like that, but it's got to have something else in it. I'm not a straight hardcore romance reader, but I am really enjoying this series. The first book was called The Fine Print, and then I was seeing every time, like, it was like, oh, I'm going to read it from the Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited. I'm going to do it. And then I'd go into Target and I'd see the book, and I'm like, should I just buy the book? And I'm like, no, I don't have to buy the book. It's free on, I pay for this subscription. Or, no, I'm not going to do it. But then, like, I kept seeing it everywhere I went. So I was like, it's a sign for me to read the book. Like, it's a sign to read the book. Read the book, Melinda, read the book. Anyway, that's that. That's all I have for you. I'm sorry that the video is almost an hour long. I had a lot to catch up on, a lot to do. So I will see you in a couple weeks for my next video. Just so you know, you're not going to get anything pretty or edited or anything like that. So, there's that. But that's about it for today. I hope if you are a returning subscriber, please like and share. Leave a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. Again, I apologize for the horrible lighting. There's no good lighting in my house. It's either too bright or too dark. So, and I'm going to be recording on my laptop. So that's just the way life's going to be. So, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Again, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I will try to reply as best as possible. And that's it for now. Bye.